Hello and a very warm welcome. I am Gushin Garland and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. First, in the United States, President Donald Trump said that citizens might face economic pain from his tariffs on key trading partners, but it would be worth the price to secure the interest of the country. This comes a day after he imposed 25% tariffs on neighboring Mexico and Canada and 10% tariffs on China. Trump added that he would hold talks with Canada and Mexico. US President Trump has said that he will definitely impose new tariffs on the European Union, adding that it would happen pretty soon. Trump reiterated his complaints over the US trade deficit with the 27-nation bloc. He said the EU had taken advantage of the US. The European Union said it would retaliate firmly if it gets targeted. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio was on Panama visit, where he also toured the vital canal. US diplomat warned against the rising Chinese influence on the canal. He said Panama must act or the US would take necessary measures to protect its rights under a treaty between the two countries. Meanwhile, Panama President Jose Raul Mulino said he did not see a serious threat from the US. North Korea has criticized US Secretary of State Marco Rubio for calling it a rogue state. The country dismissed his remarks as nonsense and illogical. North Korea warned that it would respond strongly to any hostile provocations by the US. This marks North Korea's first criticism of the new US administration since President Donald Trump returned to the White House in January 20. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is currently in the United States to meet President Donald Trump. He is said to become the first foreign leader to meet Trump since he returned to the office. The Israeli leader's visit comes amid an ongoing ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Trump also spoke about Netanyahu's visit and said both will hold crucial discussions. And now shifting focus to the war in West Asia. Israeli military said it destroyed several buildings on Sunday in West Bank's Jenin. The operation was thought alleged terrorism in the area. The Israeli forces also added that the structures were used as terrorist infrastructure. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry condemned the military's destruction of building and described it as brutal scene. Hezbollah is set to hold funeral of its slain leader Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah on February 23. He was killed in a massive Israeli attack on Lebanon's capital Beirut last year. Hezbollah's current chief Naim Qassem confirmed holding a grand funeral procession for both Nasrallah and Hashim Safieddine, another slain senior official. Qassem confirmed that Safieddine was to replace Nasrallah but was eliminated before the announcement was made. Now moving to the war in Europe, Russia and Ukraine trade blames for attack on a social school in Kursk region. Condemning the attack, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said 4 people were killed by a Russian strike on a former school building. This was allegedly sheltering civilians. Meanwhile, Russia opened a criminal case against a Ukrainian commander who it alleged was behind the attack on the school. Conservative leader Bart de Wever took oath as the new Prime Minister of Belgium, moving the country to the right. He is the first nationalist for Dutch-speaking Flanders region to be named as the country's premier. De Wever took the oath in front of the King Philippe at ceremony in the Royal Palace in Brussels. This comes after 5 Belgian parties struck a coalition deal on Friday to form a new government after 7 months of torturous negotiations. Students in Serbia ended their protest blockade on Novi Sad city main bridge late yesterday. The protest was in wake of the roof collapse incident at a railway station in the city that killed 15 people last year in November. Regular protests also led to resignation of Prime Minister Milos Vučević last week amid corruption accusations leveled by the opposition. A United Airlines flight caught fire on the runway at Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport in the US yesterday. The flight was set to take off for New York City's LaGuardia Airport. However, the crew was aborted to the takeoff and evacuated all 104 passengers. An investigation has also been launched into the matter. And now in climate news, severe flooding in Australia's North Queensland has left 1 person dead. According to authorities, the flooding forced thousands to evacuate. Torrential rains triggered major floods in Hinchinbrook Shire and parts of Townsville, threatening lives and property. Emergency officials urge residents in low-lying areas to move higher ground, warning of worsening conditions. Torrential rain battered Sicily's Messina region on Sunday. This caused flash floods, mudslides and chaos on the streets. In just 4 hours, the area received a month's worth of rain, overwhelming drainage systems and washing away vehicles. Firefighters conducted over 100 rescues using inflatable boats to reach stranded residents. Authorities credited weather warnings for preventing casualties, urging people to stay indoors. According to the United Kingdom's National Fire Chiefs Council, the nation is ill-prepared for climate-related emergencies. Officials emphasize that often the first responders to extreme weather events are struggling to cope with growing demands from floods, heatwave-induced fires and storms. They urged more investment and long-term forecasting to prevent overstretching resources while maintaining essential services. According to the Indian Meteorological Department, a western disturbance will bring rain and thunderstorms to north and northwest India over the next 24 hours. Snowfall is also expected in high-altitude areas. Dense fog covered parts of New Delhi, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh and is expected to persist in Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, Odisha, Assam and Meghalaya. Moving to business and tech news now, Trump administration reportedly removed USAID's top 2 security officials over the weekend. This as the USAID security tried to stop representatives of Elon Musk's Doge from accessing restricted areas in the building. This adds to the staff removed from the agency by Trump administration in a bid to overhaul it. President Donald Trump imposed tariffs on Canada, Mexico and China over the weekend. After Trump's tariffs, dollar shot to a record peak against the Chinese yuan. The rise marks its highest against the Canadian dollar since 2003 and strongest against Mexican peso since 2022. Prices of cryptocurrencies slid today, with Bitcoin hitting a 3-week low, while Ether hits its lowest since early September. This as fears of a global trade war push investors out of risky assets. Indian rupee hits an all-time low of 87 against the US dollar. The currency plunged more than 0.5% in early trade today. The fall came amidst global markets' reaction to Trump's new tariffs on trading partners. Trump's tariffs triggered a trade war that plunged the Asian stock markets as well. US equity futures witnessed a sharp fall. Japan's Nikkei share average tumbled as much as 2.3% in early trading, while stocks in Hong Kong fell by 1.9%. China's factory activity reported a slow growth in the month of January. This is according to a private sector business survey. This as export orders witnessed a plunge for the second straight month. Slowdown comes in the backdrop of looming trade uncertainties amid Trump's tariffs. The European Union is reportedly planning to make 3 e-commerce platforms liable for dangerous or illegal products sold online. These banned platforms include Temu, Shein and Amazon Marketplace. According to reports, new custom reforms would oblige platforms to provide data on goods arriving in the EU. UK to make the use of artificial intelligence tools that create child sexual abuse images illegal. The offences will target the AI tools' usage for nudifying children's real-life images. UK will be the first country to introduce AI-related sexual abuse offences. OpenAI has launched a new AI tool called Deep Research. The tool is designed to conduct multi-step research for complex tasks. Deep Research is rolled out for web version of ChatGPT. SoftBank Group is set to establish joint venture with OpenAI in Japan. The announcement was made by SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son. The venture will offer artificial intelligence services to corporate. According to reports, SoftBank is looking at investment of $15 to $25 billion in the company. Moving to sports, and we start with cricket. India crushed England by 150 runs in the 5th T20 International in Mumbai. Team India scored 247 runs for 9 wickets in their 20 overs. England managed only 97 runs and were all out in 10.3 overs. This was England's largest loss by runs in the history of T20 cricket. India's Abhishek Sharma was the star of the match during the fifth and final T20I match against England at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. The all-rounder made the highest individual score by an Indian in T20Is with 135 runs of just 54 balls. Abhishek Sharma also made the second fastest century for India, reaching the score for 100 in just 35 balls. In football, Marcus Rashford has completed a loan transfer from the Manchester United to Aston Villa. The loan agreement lasts for 6 months. Villa will also have the option to buy him permanently for $49.5 million. Rashford has not played a match since December 2024. Arsenal clinched a stunning 5-1 win over Manchester City in the Premier League. Martin Odegaard opened scoring goal for Arsenal 2 minutes into play. City equalised after half-time through Erling Haaland in the 55th minute. But Arsenal quickly responded through goals via Thomas Partey, Miles Lewis-Kelly, Kai Havertz and late strike by Ethan Nwaneri. Spain's former Football Federation chief Luis Rubiales will go on trial starting today. Rubiales had kicked Spanish football Jenny Hermoso without consent at the 2023 Women's World Cup. He also faces charges for pressuring Hermoso to say the kiss was mutual. Rubiales is also accused of sexual assault. He eventually resigned after the controversy gained worldwide condemnation. 8 supporters of the Italian club UNDs was arrested for attacking a train carrying the rival Venezia football fans. Around 50 people ambushed a train at near Italy's Udine city. They threw stones, flares and other objects, sparking mass brawl. 6 Venezia fans were injured, with 2 requiring hospital treatment. Manchester United stumbled to their 11th defeat in the Premier League this season. They lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace in yet another disappointing performance. Jean-Philippe Mateta scored both goals in the second half. United dropped 13th place in the leaderboard after the loss. In basketball, fans of the Toronto Raptors team booed the US national anthem during a match yesterday. This was to protest against new US tariffs on Canadian imports. Similar booing happened at the National Hockey League games in Ottawa, Calgary and Vancouver. The Toronto Raptors are the only Canadian franchise in the National Basketball Association. In tennis, the organizers of the Abu Dhabi Open mistakenly listed a Russian player as Spanish. This happened during the draw ceremony of the tournament. A Spanish flag appeared beside her name during the draw. Her team raised the issue, after which the organizers issued an apology. In chess, Indian Grandmaster R. Pragnananda has won the title of Steel Masters 2025. He defeated world champion D. Gukesh at the tournament. Pragnananda is also the only second Indian to win the title after Vishwanathan Anand. Moving to the world of showbiz, the Los Angeles city witnessed the biggest night of the music industry, the 67th annual Grammy Awards. Here are the big winners. Kendrick Lamar took home 4 awards, namely Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Best Rap Song and Best Rap Performance for Not Like Us. Sabrina Carpenter was honored with the Best Pop Vocal Album award for Short and Sweet. She also won the award for Best Pop Solo Performance for Espresso. SZA won the award for the Best R&B Song for Satin. Meanwhile, Best Pop Duo Group Performance was given to Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars for Die With a Smile. Shakira took home the Best Latin Pop Album award for Las Mujeres Ya No Yo Don't. Best Rap Album award went for Doechi for Alligator Bites Never Heal. Charlie XCX Brat was given the award for the Best Dance Electronic Music Album. Best Rock Performance was taken by the Beatles for Now and Then. Best R&B Album was given to Chris Brown for 11:11 Deluxe. Beyonce made history on Sunday, winning Best Country Album at the Grammy for Cowboy Carter. This is her first foray into the genre. She accepted the trophy from Taylor Swift and stated that she was not expecting this. Beyonce is the most awarded artist in Grammy history with 32 career wins. Trevor Noah kicked off his 5th stint at Grammys host with a heartfelt tribute to Los Angeles, acknowledging the city's resilience in the wake of devastating wildfires. After this, Noah didn't hold back on the jokes, taking up playful swipes at Taylor Swift, Beyonce and even Trump's tariffs, thus keeping the audience entertained while addressing the music industry's biggest names. And finally, Chappell Roan, winner of Best New Artist, used her Grammy moment to deliver a fiery speech. She criticized record labels for failing to provide artists with health insurance and a livable wage. Roan said, and I quote, "If labels are profiting millions of artists, they should be offering basic protections," end quote. Roan, who was signed as a minor and later dropped, described feeling betrayed by the system, struggling to find work during the pandemic and being left without health insurance. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gushin Galan and we'll see you